Alright, it's been a while since I made a new video. I missed a bunch of scary scene Saturdays, I've been getting a little inconsistent, but I think it's time to start cooking again. I just finished Claire Obscure Expedition 33, so it's time to make a video on- oh my god. Well, I can spend some time watching this and make a video about that as well. Oh, Thunderbolts. Alright, I'm gonna watch that, and then I'm gonna make a- oh, Doom. Damn it. Okay, after this, I'm gonna get something out for- okay, what the fuck? Okay, I did every Night Lord. I'm done with this game for now until they add more content to it, and I can finally have time to work on- That's it. I'm done. Yes. I'm done with the channel. Gizmo, you can have the channel. I'm done.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Gizmo Gaming over here, taking over the channel.
So I've had a lot going on, to say the least. A giant mix of procrastination and big releases that pretty much halted my video making. It's been a big cluster recently, and I've got so many unfinished scripts in there, so it's been a little chaotic to balance everything out on one plate. I still do plan on making these videos though. There's no real point in leaving them there. So expect them to be out sooner than later. But for this, I want to talk about what's been going on with me. To start with, I'm unemployed! Let me elaborate on that a little bit. I worked at my local GameStop for around a year, and man, what a waste of my life that was, to be honest with you. Minimum wage to be a car salesman, awful customers who treat you like garbage for no reason, and a horrible manager who let me go because he was looking out for himself above everyone else. Yeah, that place can rot and he can go along with it. It's only a matter of time till they go bankrupt anyway. There's much better opportunities waiting for me in the future, and the question is, what do I do now? I'm considering a lot of options. College, trades, anything that could start moving me forward. Of course, YouTube is still the dream job, but I can't bet on this kicking off anytime soon. It could happen next month, it could happen next year, it could happen in the next 5 years. Who knows, man? I can't bet on that right now. But I'm still gonna be grinding it as much as I can. I'm gonna make my name known. Bet on that. For the moment though, let's briefly talk about everything I've been experiencing recently. Starting with the best movie of 2025.
You twins? Nah, we cousins.
Ryan Coogler's latest project, Sinners, was something I didn't expect to enjoy as much as I did. I only heard some brief things here and there, and it was all positive. I liked the Black Panther movie, so I was looking forward to a completely original story from Coogler. I could not have predicted how blown away I was coming out of this movie, man. This was an otherworldly experience. I'm sure many have said it already, but Michael B. Jordan's range was at full display here as he plays both the Smokestack twins. There were moments where I genuinely forgot these were the same actor. This had to be my favorite performance he's ever done, and it's not even close. The cast in general is just perfection. Especially Miles Caton as Preacher Boy Sammy. I still can't believe this was his first ever movie. Jack O'Connell as Remick might be my favorite villain I've seen in years too. He's just perfect, not much else to say other than that. Music is the core of Sinners, and it's the biggest reason why this movie is so good. If you've seen the film, you immediately know the scenes I'm going to be thinking about. You know, the Irish Jiggy scene, Sammy's performance at the juke joint. These scenes have got to be some of the greatest things I've ever seen on a movie screen. The juke joint scene was an out-of-body experience I still think about every single day. If you somehow haven't seen it yet, just go and do so. There's a reason why it's getting the praise it has right now, and I can't wait to go in depth with this film later on and really dissect what I loved about it. Now let's move on to another movie I saw that may have saved the MCU and finally brought it back.
Look at you. So adorable.
Thunderbolts was one of the 2 movies in the MCU that made or break it for me. The other one being... If these movies were bad, then I kinda was just done watching these films. Like most people, I didn't really have high expectations for Thunderbolts when it first got revealed. But as more trailers came out, the more I was sold on it. And now that I've seen it, this movie's great, man. I was so worried this was just gonna be okay or not too good, but it feels so great to be wrong here. Thunderbolts is a very personal journey between all these characters that a lot of people can relate to. It still has its Marvel tropes and comedy here and there, but it didn't feel as bad or forced in for the most part. The chemistry between the characters was just a joy to watch. Definitely my favorite part of the entire film. My favorites of the group had to be Yelena, John Walker, and Bob/Sentry. Ghost was the only character I felt like it had a little bit more development to her, and Taskmaster, Bucky and Red Guardian were fine, even though I wish we got to see a little bit more of Red Guardian's backstory. Other than that, I still loved everyone on the team. The themes this movie portrays made me relate to these characters more than ever. It deals with grief, depression, drug addiction, domestic abuse, just sheer emptiness, everything under the sun. It always hurts to watch something you relate to so hard. They couldn't have chosen a more perfect villain for this story than the Void. I don't think I've ever cared for a new MCU character like I did Sentry in Forever. He's the most invested I've ever been in these new super powerful heroes that are meant to be really important for the long run. I just hope, and I mean hope, his role in Doomsday isn't awful, because they can absolutely mess it up by having him be some fodder for Doom or something. Please, Marvel, I'm begging you. This guy is gold. Do not tarnish it already. The shots in this movie are just stellar. The cinematography here almost didn't feel like a Marvel movie at times. I think one of the best things I can say about the film is that it doesn't really feel like an ad. Hear me out a little bit. There's been a lot of current Marvel movies where it kind of feels like they're only just here to advertise the next movie. That may sound a bit weird, but I don't know, you should know what I mean when I say this. It's that weird current phase MCU effect where I'm kind of spending a lot of money for these tickets just to watch a 2-hour ad for the next film. It makes me not care about the current story at hand, and I just want to see what they're trying to hype up for the next one. And then the next one ends up being another ad for the bigger movie that's coming out soon. Like, I don't know. It may sound really weird, but you probably get what I mean. Thunderbolts actually feels like a real movie instead of one of these glorified ads. It's not perfect by any means, but there is a lot to like here. It's such a breath of fresh air that actually does make me look forward to what's next. The next movie in question being Please, Marvel, go 2 for 2 on this and you'll officially reel me back into the MCU vortex. Thunderbolts really did feel like the start of the new phase. Kevin Feige did say this was supposedly the start of a new quality over quantity plan Marvel Studios announced a little after this movie came out. If Thunderbolts is going to be the standard going forward for these movies, then we might actually be back. There was a time frame where I had almost zero hope with superhero films in their entirety, but we've been getting some really good ones recently, and with Fantastic Four and Superman on the horizon, I have a feeling we're in for some good stuff. Thunderbolts is just a surprisingly good movie that makes me really hopeful for the MCU's future. Now in the gaming sphere, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 took over my life, so let's start with that. This game has way too much to unpack here, so look forward to my bigger video on it on the horizon. To put this in the best way possible, this game is a masterpiece. I'm not the biggest fan of RPGs, admittedly. It just isn't really a genre I indulge in too often. There is some great ones out there, but I'm really reserved on which ones I actually end up playing. That being said, I am so happy I gave Clair Obscur a shot because I didn't expect to be blown away by this game from beginning to end. The characters, the story, the gameplay, the music. Oh, the music! Before I get ahead of myself, let me tell you why this game is incredible. Clair Obscur was made by Sandfall Games with around 30 devs, funnily enough. I swear to God, I think somebody said there was only 33 devs, and considering the name of this game, that's such a hilarious thing to happen. And what an accomplishment this game is, man. It's also the very rare win I will give the French. Good job, y'all. Jokes aside, this game's combat feels so good to master. The dodging, the parrying, the gradient counters. The battle mechanics just kept evolving as the game went on, and I loved every second of it. The power trip you eventually get in the later portions is something else too. It got to the point where one of the moves in the game had to be nerfed because of how broken it was. I like to call Mayo my glass cannon without the glass because she's just one-shotting every single thing in the game without any consequences. I really did enjoy every party member's playstyle, and I tried using them all equally. Usually you kinda have 1 or 2 people you almost never use, but this wasn't the case in this game. The story was phenomenal. You end up really caring about everybody that you meet, and you want to see the cast finish their expedition. It's an impossible journey, you still want to make it to the end against all odds. The twists and turns on said journey just completely blew me away. Without spoiling anything at all, it goes into a direction I didn't expect in the slightest and left me speechless. It feels like there's almost endless amount of content in this game too, and it consistently stayed unique somehow. From the super hard secret bosses I probably shouldn't be doing at the time, but I did anyways because I was too spiteful, to the literal only up sections. Like, are we serious? This game was constantly breaking its own rules at any chance it got. You could really feel the sheer fun these devs had when making the game. I can't wait to elaborate this game even more because what I said barely scratches the surface of what Clair Obscur has to offer. For those who come after. And then Doom the Dark Ages came out, after thinking that I was free from games for a bit. I was hoping I could avoid this one for now due to not having much money for it at the time. Then my girlfriend decided to buy it out of nowhere, and we shared a Steam family, so like, I just gotta. I even got the really cool looking controller for it because it was way too awesome looking to pass up. Now to the game at hand. I had a really good time with this one. I think out of all 3 of the Doom Revival trilogy, the gameplay of Dark Ages felt the best. I love when my hits feel weighty in games, and man, this absolutely applies to how Doom Guy is in this one. His punches, his kicks, his flail, his shield are all so satisfying to hit people with. You aren't zooming and swapping weapons like a maniac every 2 seconds like you would in Eternal. The pace is much more slow and deliberate. It reminded me a lot of the original game style where you'd be strafing left and right to avoid all the bullets, and I really dug it. The guns the game offered to us this time around were so cool as well. My favorite had to be the Pulverizer. Shooting skull fragments at groups of enemies as it shreds their flesh off is one of the most metal things in the entire game. The super shotgun actually feels like a super shotgun in this game. Seriously, tearing into big dudes with it felt great. This is just a really good feeling game overall. I think they've mastered the controls in this series since Eternal, and it really shows in Dark Ages. I love running around these open areas and finding the secrets waiting for me. I'm very glad to see these little figures make their return too, by the way. It better continue to be a staple until the end of time as well. Getting to see Doomguy's origin as he becomes a prolific slayer is also really neat. It's not the craziest story I've ever seen, but they've done a really good job with their storytelling since 2016. He's also really hot in this game. Oh my god, bro. But yeah, neat story. Thought it was pretty good. The mech levels were so fun as well. It's the closest thing we're gonna get to a kaiju game for now. I really had a good time with it, even if the gameplay wasn't that in-depth. It doesn't always have to be either though. A basic gameplay loop can be fine as long as it doesn't overstay its welcome, and these sections definitely did it. The dragon sections though were kinda eh. I wasn't really the biggest fan of them compared to the mech ones. These were the ones that got a little repetitive the more I played it. Still didn't take away any love I have for the dragon in question though. He is best boy and forever will be. I'm not sure if I'll make a full video on this one, but it's a consideration. Great game. I expected nothing less from these devs at this point. They just continue to cook every single time. Moving on to Elden Ring and Night Rain. A real divisive one here, ain't it? I knew by the time this got revealed it wasn't going to be universally loved by everybody. A 3-player roguelike with a bunch of reused Elden Ring enemies and some Souls bosses sprinkled in as well? Yeah, I can kind of understand why people weren't fully on board with this. But after playing both the network test and the full game now, oh my god, this game is fun. I don't know how they did it, but they managed to combine the Souls formula with a roguelike loop where you build your characters up for 2 days until you fight the Night Lord on day 3, alongside a Fortnite-esque circle that closes in on you over time. This game shouldn't work on paper, but it weirdly does, and I kinda love it. The preset characters you get for this are all super fun to play. I really like their unique moves, their personalities, and especially their remembrances. Revenants had to be the darkest thing I've seen from FromSoft in a while. And this is FromSoft we're talking about here. I really like the cast of characters we had at our disposal. My favorites had to be Iron Eye and Raider. These two clicked with me and gave me the most enjoyable runs I've had so far in this game. There's just something so enjoyable about how Raider screams before his totem explodes out of the ground, or charging a giant arrow from Iron Eye and reviving your team while also staggering the boss in the meantime. Like I mentioned earlier, the main course of this game are the Night Lords. All 8 of them are just incredible fights, except for Augur. That thing can just screw off immediately. Seriously, I hate this guy! My favorite of the bunch had to be Libra, the Equilibrious Beast, or the Creature of Night, whatever you want to call him. Awesome frenzy goat guy. I will gladly sacrifice my entire bloodline for him. I adore this boss in its entirety. The mechanics where you have to pick up this fake gold as you build up your madness, you get to make a deal with him before the fight starts, and as it does, the music goes off the wall. It's my favorite OST in the game and one of my favorites FromSoft has ever made. They gave the most love to the Night Lords and it really shows. They're meant to be the main event anyway, so of course they're going to be the best parts of the whole game. I will admit, I was also on the fence a bit with Night Rain, but I'm glad to be wrong. They just really need to add and fix a few things to really make this game even better. No crossplay really hurts. The matchmaking also really needs to be fixed, especially with remembrances. They did send out a fix for them recently, but I haven't checked up to see if it was any better. A big disappointment I personally had was the lack of Souls enemies. You're bringing back the Dark Souls bosses, but none of the regular enemies in the game? No Bone Wheels, no Capper Demon, no Pinwheel? Seriously, no Pinwheel? They could absolutely throw these guys in to make the runs feel even more unique. I really hope different maps are added in the future. Limveiled is nice, but there's so many opportunities to add more maps alongside the really cool world events to make these runs feel even more unique. Because that's what a roguelike really needs. Not every single run should go the exact same way. This game has so much endless potential to just continuously add more things to it and give people an incentive to play even more. We'll have to see what the DLC is going to be and how everything goes down, but I really hope they support this for a while. They have so much they can do for this game, and I pray it's not abandoned after the first DLC rolls out. Regardless though, the game is still insanely fun and I always look forward to runs with my friends. Finally, we have the most recent thing that consumed my life, Lies of P Overture. The lovely folks at NeoWiz decided to shadow drop this after Summer Games Fest, and I couldn't believe it. So naturally, I forked over my $30 like the consumer I was and hopped right back into Lies of P. I want to keep this one a bit shorter because I don't want this going on for too long. I do plan on making longer videos about everything I'm talking about here. Or mostly everything, who knows, we'll see. Regardless, Lies of P Overture is a great expansion. A short but very sweet experience. At first I was getting two-shot by literally everything, but I went to go grind some levels and it felt much better. The new weapons we have access to gotta be my new favorites, man. The Gunblade is just another example of this type of weapon being the most peak thing in the entirety of the world, and I will not hear otherwise. But yeah, the lore we get from this as well has to be my favorite part of the entire DLC. We learned so much, and we even meet a character I was interested in the most out of everyone in the base game, and I really enjoyed seeing that. This DLC doesn't really reinvent the wheel or anything, it's ultimately just more Lies of P, and that's a good thing. This game is already the best Souls-like on the market, so why not have more of it? But yeah, amazing DLC, and I cannot wait to see what NeoWiz is cooking next, especially whatever that Dorothy post-credit scene was all about. So that's what's been going on in my life. I've had a few other things happen, but I won't touch on those till a little bit later. It's a little bit more personal to me. It's been a little hectic and admittedly really overwhelming at points, but I think I have a game plan now. I'm ready to keep treading forward in my life, and if you'd like to join me on this ride, why not drop me a sub? I'm excited for what life has to offer for me, but until then, I take my leave for now. I hope you all are having a great day or night wherever you are. My name is Shen, and it's been real. I love y'all. Peace.
That was rude of you.